What's crack-a-lackin', true believers, and welcome to another episode of That 90s Spider-Man Show. We hope you're enjoying a good summer so far, as we record this episode in October, and most likely to be released in November, maybe December. This is not another episode of the podcast, this is part of our mid-season, post-season break, where we've been talking about anything that's not Spider-Man the Animated Series, and we haven't actually done one of these Marvel Cinematic Universe roundups in a while, and we've watched a few, and we want to talk about them, so here we are. I am one of your hosts this evening, my name is Henry.
And I'm Jack, and this might be the first time that you've been self-aware of the fact that I'm going to post it later than you think I am.
Yeah.
But even saying that, now I think it's a bit of a curse where, because you said maybe December, this is going out in January.
Motherfucker.
I guess the aim has to
Hope
be...
you're enjoying your summer 3 days after New Year's.
Well, the Australians.
Oh yeah, the big Australian contingent.
Well, I guess it's still not summer, it's just warm.
Yeah, well, I guess it's their summer, because they're in the southern hemisphere.
They're not like...
They're also having their Christmas.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, it's June.
No.
I live on the other side of the world.
Well,
I'm upside down.
Yeah, that's how the calendar works, you see. It's like, the first 6 months happen in the northern hemisphere first, and while they're having their, Christmas, we're having our summer.
Do you think, they get, tired of having to, walk upside down?
I think you get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
I think if you're a baby who's been born in, Australia, you're going to be like, oh shit, this is how you meant to walk.
Yeah.
Upside down. Gravity works the other way.
Yeah. It's like Mario Galaxy.
Yeah. Did you not know there's, this big, cannon that shoots you to, Mars if you get enough stars? Just as a disclaimer, I've not played Mario Galaxy, so I don't know how accurate any of this information is.
A cannon.
I
guess you kind of you retrofit there's a cannon 64, right?
Yeah, and it has that weird star thingy that looks like a cannon. Anyway,
no, Mario Galaxy is all about black holes and resetting the universe. It's kind of like Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
Which is relevant to today.
This podcast,
because this is where the MCU is going.
Segue.
The MCU is heading to the point where they...
What, we're into a black hole? Yeah, I agree.
Well, they're gonna, they've set the path now. As soon as you go, we're doing multiverse stuff in this cinematic universe, you're effectively saying, we are willing to go the stupidest directions.
Yeah.
We are...
We're no longer committed to making this make sense.
Yeah, we're going full into the comic book stuff, and we're going full into the event stuff. We're going full in alternate universe, which means, fuck it, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Fuck it, other Secret Wars.
It's a messy, bitter divorce from reality.
Yeah, it's just like Secret Wars, or Secret Wars.
Oh,
but not like Secret Wars 2 or Secret War.
What about The Secret War?
Actually, wait, no. Which one's the... I think there might be The Secret War.
Of course
I think it might go Secret Wars 2, The Secret War, then Secret War.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because...
And I will say that 2 of them are good, and not the ones that you'd think.
But before you start going to Secret Wars again, we should probably start talking about this podcast.
Yeah, let's talk about Shang-Chi.
Yeah, we talk about Shang-Chi, which is, I think, the first movie we've talked about that wasn't far from home. RE Marvel Cinematic Universes on the main feed, which has been a long time. That was 2019.
Or the Patreon feed, actually. Did we do any MCU ones on the Patreon? Because I haven't been... Oh, no, we did WandaVision.
Yeah, which is... And
then we were going to do Loki and Winter Soldier and stuff like that, and then that's going to be in this. We decided to,
just do all of them together, because...
Yeah, because we need to catch up now, and, I don't know.
I don't want to have conversations on all 5
Well, we're getting to the point now
separately.
where even if you're just into the Marvel stuff, you need to prioritize what you want to see and stuff, because it's it's a lot to see.
There's a lot of investment.
There might be a series of blockbusters that come out in a year, and you're like, wow, I'm going to see all of those, but I don't care if I miss I don't know, Aquaman, I'll catch that when it's streaming or something like that. But you get to the point where just with the Marvel stuff, there's so much of it, it's I
can't do the Disney Plus stuff.
Or you wait until someone tells you, actually, WandaVision was good, and then you go, okay, fine, I'll check that out, but I'm not touching something else.
Unless you do a podcast related to Marvel stuff, otherwise you have to watch everything.
Yeah, well, although, I mean, you say that, but we did WandaVision, and then that was in March or some shit, wasn't it?
I think so, shit.
Time,
man. Fucking time. it is time though to talk about these Shang-Chi. Is it worth like going through like the things that we're doing in this episode? Just like a breakdown.
No, we're just gonna cover all the stuff we haven't done before, I guess. Yeah. So Shang-Chi.
Okay, so Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, I believe. You and I went to the cinema to see this, which was like the first time we've been with you to the cinema for a long ass time.
Yeah, it's very weird lately in general coming into Marvel stuff again, like because there's so much. Just like being like, this is just a thing I do, rather than getting hyped for it. Like Shang-Chi, I think I didn't watch any trailers this time, but I saw like one TV spot by accident, and I remember it set my expectations low just because like I was like, oh cool, Shang-Chi martial arts movie, and then the one thing that they showed in the TV spot for some reason was like from the end of the movie where he's like doing shit with the 10 rings, and it looks like, you know, all magical and stuff, and I was like, oh, I thought like he was gonna be punching and kicking.
Well,
I mean he does,
yeah.
But like the TV spot set me off on the wrong foot. So I think I was pleasantly surprised, and I feel like there's probably a subset of people that find her super annoying in the same way that people do with like what's the name, Darcy in the 4 movies.
Oh, Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings, yeah. Well, I'm like, it's a hit or miss thing.
I kind of prefer Awkwafina.
I really like Awkwafina. I like her in everything that she's in. Like even as I'm watching her, I'm like, I'm betting there's someone in this screening that is annoyed with her right now, but I just love it. Also, go check out The Farewell. It's a comedy drama, but it's like one of my favorite movies of 2000 whatever year.
Maybe 2018.
Maybe the last time I was counting years.
Maybe the last time we were feeling joy of any kind. Anyway, so I really like Awkwafina. I was like, to be fair, I was crushing on both the women in this. I was like, I kind of want to like be like BFF. The sister.
Yeah, I've forgotten her name. Yeah, she's cool though.
She's cool, but yeah, like I was gonna say though that when you were saying how you hadn't seen the Shang-Chi trailer, I was gonna be like, yeah, me neither. But I remember that I watched the entire thing and just forgot about it.
Right. Yeah.
And like going into it, like the trailer gave me like Black Panther vibes. Just because it was like all Asian cast, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Plus like hip hop music.
Oh right, yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're doing that again.
Yeah, they might as well sell it on that same sort of.
Yeah, and going out of it, I remember kind of feeling like, oh, that was really good. But like on reflection and having thought about it, I don't know about you. And can we say spoilers?
Maybe let's keep before we go into spoilers. Let's say like. Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it. I wouldn't like strongly recommend it, but I would definitely go and see it. There's some really cool action and stuff. Like the story is less like epic, I suppose, than maybe a lot of what the MCU's been dealing with recently.
I mean, it's still pretty epic. I still think
the whole lot of the time it's like the world's about to fucking end.
Yeah,
and this is like maybe one country's gonna get fucked up, and eventually the world will end. You know, but like the personal stakes are something that like. A lot of Marvel cinematic movies just don't do.
It is a bit like the Black Panther thing, where technically the ending of Black Panther shows like, okay, this Wakandan technology is going to be used to like raise the world, you know. So technically, the whole Earth is at stake. But you're not really thinking about that because you're thinking, oh shit, that motherfucker just hit Shuri.
Yeah,
T'Challa, go whoop his ass. And then they fight, and then it's about those two, and it's about T'Challa learning something.
Yeah.
So like,
like the bones of storytelling. Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens in this one as well. Like, even when it gets sort of crazy at the end, it's still like this father and son relationship. And
speaking of father and son, actually, Tony Leung, I think, is like the best part of this movie.
Yeah,
I mean, he's fucking fantastic.
I mean, he's like one of those actors that is just pops up here and there and is always kind of great. I think everyone is great in this. I didn't really know much about Simu Liu. Is that how you say his name?
I think, Simu Liu, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's excellent. I think he has a good presence. I wouldn't say that his character is... Like a lot of these characters, I feel like they kind of leave behind their quirks as the movie goes on a little bit. The thing I really liked about him, I was like, oh, it's just this guy who has no money.
Seems like a regular dude.
Yeah, and he's kind of like one of those people just like in their 30s figuring shit out and like not really knowing what they're doing, and like
it's probably gonna be me in my 30s.
Yeah,
except I don't know kung fu.
Yeah, so it was a lot sadder.
It's a lot sadder.
It's like that's the thing that I kind of like
It's like
about
Henry
this
Smith
movie.
and the 10 onion rings. It's just...
I think like the thing that I like about this movie is the stuff at the start. They make a point of like Awkwafina and Simu Liu. So it's
Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
the movie goes out of its way to be like, it's not Shang-Chi.
yeah, because
you
which
white-ass motherfucker.
Well, but that's the thing, right? Is that like this name has been in comic book parlance for ages, and I've been listening to like some podcasts lately where there's all these like older comic book nerds that are like, shit, I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I never had to say it out loud. He hasn't been in fucking cartoons or anything.
I never had to say it out loud. There's probably like a really, really cool like metaphor for how the MCU has just grown over the last like decade or two.
Yeah, and I will say that like everyone in this movie was good. The father-son stuff is good. I like that. Going back to what I was saying about them early on in the movie, I like that they don't make a point to go super hard on how they're wasting their lives. It's more, or they might be wasting. It's
like the way your parents would tell you you're wasting your life without directly doing it.
It's like they're actually enjoying it and they're actually having personal connections and having a good time.
But everyone else is like, so what's next? And they're like, no, cool, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's almost like they do need to move on at some point, but the movie doesn't like necessarily be like, and therefore them fucking around was bad. It was kind
just
of like,
well, it's coming to the end of that. And
and it's like, well, do you, just on a personal level, do you want to keep doing this? And then the answer is no. I want to go beat up my dad.
Yeah, which is what we all want to do. It's like in what's it called? That
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod, exactly.
Yeah,
everyone wants to just go and wrestle their dad.
Yeah, just like Spider-Man did in the comics when his dad came back as a robot.
I'd almost forgotten.
Well, his dad didn't come back as a robot. Yeah. No. Anyway, like check our Vulture episode. I talk about that.
He does. He talks about it a lot. And I think one thing that I think stands out among like the Marvel Universe's MCU so far, and I'm not really sure what to make of it in a way because I guess you couldn't fuck it up. But I think the most notable part of this is like the kung fu stuff. Like some of the action scenes were very like Jackie Chan-esque.
Right, like
maybe not
like
the one
stumbling through stuff.
Yeah,
the bus thing is still not the highlight, but like that's a really strong moment in it.
It is a really cool fight scene.
And I tell you what, before we get into spoilers, I'll say that I also recommend this movie with a few caveats, but the caveats are the kind of similar ones I'd have about a lot of MCU stuff.
Is it worth like talking about the caveats a little bit? Because I have a couple of notes I want to make before we go into the real like deep shit.
Sure, yeah. All I have to really say from a non-spoiler point of view is that the way the plot goes towards the end is way more third act familiar stuff, and it is different in certain ways, but it's still a very big spectacle thing. And the thing I was really enjoying about the film was the fact that it was exploring this side of the universe that you didn't know much about, and the fact that it was like two platonic friends, like a man and a woman who aren't making out. Do they make out?
They don't make out, but there are points where they're like, oh, they're gonna bang at some point. I really hope there's a couple of like little things in like the way that things were shot.
I don't know if I'm just like in my brain just removing those parts because I wanted it to be platonic.
I think it's one of those things that's like one of those platonic friendships that's eventually going to become romantic.
Yeah.
There's little points here and there.
And it's weird because the MCU, I think, in general needs more like romance and sex because they just...
People just stop fucking in these movies.
Because everything is very sexless in a weird way.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I'm like, I'd prefer if they didn't because I quite like them just as friends. They seem like very like real life friends and I really enjoyed their chemistry together in that way. And I liked it when it was just them going around doing shit, talking, and then getting into martial arts fights. Yeah. That stuff was cool. And when the stakes get higher, when the CG gets crazier, when things get more fantastical, I don't necessarily have a problem with that in concept, but it was just like,
I think more
this isn't really what I signed up for.
If anything, it was a bit rushed.
It again becomes one of these things where it's like, I think if I was to skip all the action, most of the action in the third act, then I could come away with like some 90-minute movie that like I'm really singing its praises. But because of that, I end up coming away a bit like less enthusiastic. So, which is then is why it becomes a recommend without like you're going to remember this for the rest of your life.
I think it's like an MCU movie, top to bottom.
But
they show some things where you're like, oh, this could be something, but it's never going to be that thing.
Yeah.
And if you stop, I think the movies are really good at like making you think that something else is going to happen, but it's not.
Yeah, you're like, well, if this is the first act, imagine the second act, and then
I've seen this before 17 times.
Yeah.
And I think like as a criticism, I don't know if it counts as a criticism because I don't know why I expected more. I don't want to like harp on too much about like the MCU's particular problems with that respect because I feel like this movie doesn't really deserve it.
Yeah, it's also like that thing to saying it's like you're making it sound like it's part of like it's an MCU movie and it does have those problems, but at the same time like I do think it's got like more unique stuff going on than a lot of other MCU movies.
Yeah. I think probably like the most common thread you can pull with it is Black Panther.
Yeah, and even then that feels like a bit like muddled scale, because it's like because it feels like we're just talking about like representation and also like hidden societies and
like these
culture and stuff being important to the story. Even then, it doesn't fit that well for me as a comparison. But I suppose it does in the sense that they're both movies that I think are really, really good, and then at the end, like the action at the end just isn't as good. And
you have like these very like almost phlegmatic like main characters with T'Challa and what's his name, Shang-Chi. Yeah. And you're like, there's also cool stuff going on. They almost get like backseated in their own movie.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the extent that like I think T'Challa is at some point in Black Panther, where he's literally like you think he's dead.
Yeah.
We get like lots of room to the side characters, but regardless of like the parallels, I think this is like a serviceable MCU movie. In terms of like newness, this is about as new as it's gonna get, maybe until a bit later on in like the cycle. But yeah, like I think you go out see this with a couple of friends, get some popcorn, have a good time, and that's really all you need to do with most MCU movies, and it's fine for that.
Are you having this kind of thing where you're like bumping up against your own cynicism for MCU movies, and then you're kind of like bouncing back, like, you know what are we here for? Because that's kind of what I'm having a bit.
I don't need these things to be fine art, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think there was a point where I did, and I think I'm just like at least I'm not getting that for a while, so I'd rather just like chill out, and then if something really interesting comes along, then jump on it.
I don't think we're at the point now with the amount of money that they're making and the amount that they're doing that we can expect any of these to be genuinely great.
Yeah, and I'm having a similar thing with it's not Marvel related, but like Suicide Squad. Both the Suicide Squad and Shang-Chi were movies where I was halfway through it and I was like, honestly, this is one of my favorite superhero movies. This is fucking great.
I have that a bit with the Suicide Squad, actually.
And then by the time I got to the end, I was kind of like, it's just downgraded a bit to like a 7 out of 10 sort of situation. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just that because it's always the ending, it's when I come away, I'm like, oh, this is
the part where you need to make everything work. And it continually just like, not even like, doesn't sit the landing, but it attempts the less ambitious jump.
I think they're still in this situation of like, we need to justify the fact that this is a movie. So
we're going to put all this like set pieces in it.
Yeah, and I just think it's like, even a blockbuster doesn't have to be like this, you know? And I think that's one of the things that like I got so excited about like when I saw Civil War. I think in retrospect there were a lot of things that I liked less about the movie now, but at the time I was mostly just overwhelmed by like, holy shit, they have their big fight that we all wanted. It's like 2/3 way through or whatever, and then at the end you have this close quarters combat with 3 characters making use of their abilities really interestingly, and there's a lot of emotional stakes to it, so it doesn't matter that it's smaller. And even then, like, and it's just like, and they're making use of the environment, because they're in an enclosed space, and that became a really cool thing. And you're like, how
one of these characters can fly, the other 2 can't.
Yeah, how would 2 just super soldiers take down like a dude in super advanced armor, and they actually go through it and do it? And I think too much of the time it ends up being against a horde of enemies in a big like, open field.
Or it's like one guy who has exactly the same abilities as the other guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we doing
And then
this?
It just becomes 2 people in like green screen morph suits rolling around.
Yeah, that's the thing that like, I think these movies drags these down a lot. Also, before I forget, like, talk about the Suicide Squad. That could probably be a Patreon episode. I'd be happy to talk about that movie in more detail.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, like, if you want to listen to us talk about the Suicide Squad by James Gunn, check out that 90s Patreon feed sometime in 2024.
Yeah, don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No, what you were meant to say, but those are the best kind.
I'm not saying that.
You're not the Peter Parker to my Emma Stone.
Absolutely. Oh well, unless you want to die in a clock tower at some point.
I've always wanted to die in a clock tower.
That's the only way I want to die.
That's like my number one place I want to die.
It's like I don't know you at all.
I want to die around the metaphor of time. I'm going to give a speech about how, like a really depressing speech at graduation about how everyone's going to die one day.
At your graduation next year. And I can spend like a whole summer just growing a really sad depression beard.
And you can be haunted by my dad.
I mean, that'd be something, you know.
I have a good transition into spoiler. And I will say, look in the timestamps because we're going to talk about other MCU stuff. So if you want to skip Shang-Chi spoilers, I'll put the timestamp in. So if you want to skip ahead, then just look in the description below. What I want to say before we get into spoilers is Zhu Wenwu, the Mandarin.
Ooh, yeah.
Tony Leung, right?
Yeah, technically Tony Leung, yeah.
Technically.
I mean, like, there's not the Mandarin in the sense that, like, we kind of expected the Mandarin, but considering what happened in Iron Man 3, this is like a cool remix on the Mandarin, I suppose.
I want to talk about the Mandarin a little bit. In this, I would say that he's great. I think they did a really good job with how they put him in the world, but gave him a perspective that meant that there's no reason for him to have, interfered with Avengers, interfered with any of these events that are happening in the MCU. It's like
he's like a billionaire in today's times. He's just too rich to give a fuck.
Yeah, and he's super old, and he's gone through all these different stages, and then the way they reveal
having a really bad time,
and the way they reveal stuff about Shang-Chi's past, and like the way their relationship changed, why he is away but now is coming back. I think all that plotting stuff is really good, and I think the stuff they did with the rings, I will say, I did like it until I think some of the stuff at the end became a bit like
a CG like orgy.
Yeah, and it became a bit boring. But like, for those who don't know, he's kind of got like the rings on his arm as like giant ass rings that kind of coil up,
and they're like almost like superpowered bracelets, don't they?
Yeah, and they're like, I mean, I'm making it sound way dumber than sillier than it looks, but they're kind of like slinky arms a little bit.
Yeah.
There's magic.
Like this end of the second act has this really long scene where like Tony Leung and Simu Liu having a big fight on these stairs, and like, the bracelets fall off his arm and just go slowly down this like long set of stairs. It's really riveting. So
he just finds them, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, and it's a bit obscure, like where the origin is from, right? Or something.
They kind of start with this like big like load of exposition that like in retrospect tells you not really much. Like the thing you want to know is like, yeah, don't worry about that.
Well, he finds them, right?
I think
and it's like they might be alien, they might be mystical, we don't know, or something.
It's effectively that.
Yeah, but like either way, it doesn't necessarily.
It doesn't really
matter.
pertain to the plot at all.
I mean, I suppose like I think it does become relevant because they could be used. It's very different in the comics. In the comics, they're actually rings.
They're just regular rings
on a hand.
Yeah.
And I just want to like
the man was just like straight pimping.
He is straight pimping, and also like I feel like he's kind of sad to death now, but he was a racist caricature of a Chinese guy.
You'd be surprised how much of our society is built upon racist caricatures.
Yeah, especially Iron Man gallery, which is just all...
It's all Chinese people and Russians.
It's all communists. It's all communists. So they're all Chinese and Russian.
Yeah.
And then after that point...
Maybe some Cubans.
Yeah.
Fight, like,
well, I think they have to update the origin, because I think it's originally... Wait, when did
Fidel Castro come into the MCU?
I bet he's fucking in it, you know?
I kind of want to
I bet he was a robot, you know? Like fucking Marvel shit. Yeah. Like fucking Hitler's brain gets put in someone else at a certain point.
I mean, that's the least I expect from comic books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Like the first Captain America issue, him punching Adolf Hitler in the face, as one should. Yeah. But
punch Nazis, guys.
Okay, so this dude, the original Mandarin in comics, he finds a spaceship that's crash landed with a skeleton of an intelligent dragon-like alien from the planet Maklu 4 called Axon Kar, who he'd basically come to Earth centuries ago and died, and then he finds 10 rings in the spaceship, researches all this tech, and then he becomes powerful, and then he ends up becoming like, I guess kind of similar in the movie where he has like his own personal like militia sort of army, and he has like power and like,
we'll get into those dudes.
Yeah, but like what I want to go into is the fact in Iron Man 3 when they announced initially that it was going to be the Mandarin, I was kind of like how are they going to possibly do this? For one thing, there's the whole thing of it being a Chinese stereotype in some ways. And they did change that, I think, in the comics as it went on. They kind of like changed the character a bit, but like,
I think at some point he's meant to be like a Middle Eastern sort of like cipher, right? Or
I don't think
well, I
so.
guess in Iron Man 3.
Well, like maybe a cipher, yeah. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of Iron Man comics, but I know he turns up and he like becomes more like on the businessman sort of side of things, like a bit more like Lex Luthor-y maybe, but
not like a communist businessman.
Well, he might be. I think he's just an asshole, to be honest. But I don't know. The other thing that I thought at that point in the MCU, things weren't nearly as crazy, because I remember like in Age of Ultron, I fucking say this all the time, the bit where like Vision shooting a laser from his forehead gem, and Thor is shooting lightning from his hammer, and Iron Man shooting repulsor chest blast or whatever, all at Ultron at the same time to break his vibranium armor. And I was like, this shit is comic books. It's happened, you know?
We're here. We're
like,
right.
I know people don't really like that movie, but I do feel like it was a moment of like anything sort of goes, and it was kind of exciting at the time. But before that point, when you're just doing Iron Man 3 and after Avengers, and I was like, wait, really? They're doing Mandarin? How are they going to do the dude who has 10 rings that all have a different power? That is crazy. And the idea is like they did a different thing with Mandarin, and then even in this one, they're not doing the 10 rings.
They're doing that one ring, but there's 10 of them.
Yeah.
And I guess it would feel too close to like the Infinity Stones in a lot of ways.
Well, yeah. And it's also fucking confusing, right?
Yeah.
So I had to look it up, and luckily Wikipedia has a table for this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Split up into digit, left hand and right hand, where we got the little finger, left hand. And this isn't relevant what finger it's on, I just thought I'd tell you.
I prefer to know which finger it was so I can visualize it better.
And every ring has 2 names as well, just to make it like... I don't know why one is in like quotation marks, so I'm guessing one is like the cool name and one is like... It's like one is like a cool name and the other one is like a science mumbo jumbo, you know?
Okay.
Like one side is like a fucking like...
It's
It's like the difference between like Doctor Who and Metal Gear Solid in terms of namings.
Oh,
Littlefinger, Ice Blast /0. And,
for 0 degrees Kelvin.
Yeah, and it's a cold ring.
Oh, right.
And it just like makes ice blasts, and it can reduce temperature to absolute 0.
Which is it's not a fun time, folks.
No.
Okay, next ring.
Ringfinger is the Metro Intensifier / the Liar.
The Metro's Intensifier?
Yeah.
So
the Mento.
I think the Metro's Intensifier.
I said Metro because that meant more sense to me than Mento. Because
Metro Intensifier makes it sound like, oh shit, I'm late to my commute. I've got to like...
Yeah.
got to make the district line go faster.
Yeah. But, well, the Mento Intensifier, like...
Sorry, I'm late.
Like
I lost my Mento Intensifier in the fucking bathroom.
I think the Mento Intensifier is like a big bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
You put a Mento in it, it intensifies that shit.
Sprays corn syrup all over your enemies.
Yeah, it magnifies the wearer's own psionic energy, allowing him to place one or more people under his mental control and to transmit orders mentally, create illusions. So, you know, already too far, you can freeze someone and control their mind and make illusions. Mm-hmm. That's 2. Then you got middle finger, electroblast / lightning.
Okay.
Electricity.
That seems pretty self-explanatory.
Flame blast on the index finger. Incandescent.
Yeah.
And
what the thumb?
Yeah, it's just a heat ray. I guess like Superman.
So why would you have a fire ray and a heat ray? What's like the?
Huh?
I guess like it makes
no. That's the same one.
Oh right.
I'm saying I didn't move on yet.
Oh right. Okay.
The farm is white light / demonic, where they play a Velvet Underground song.
Oh yeah, sure. There's plenty of ways that can be used in combat.
Oh, man, imagine if they did the comic accurate Mandarin and they played white light. Yeah, basically various forms of energy along the electromagnetic spectrum.
Okay.
It has been used to create gravity powerful enough to make Iron Man bury himself by trying to walk forward.
As like a fucking alien physics, so that makes 0 sense scientifically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what electromagnetism has to do with gravity. Right?
Nothing. There's nothing with gravity.
Yeah. I mean,
this is entirely different forms of physics.
I'm only A-level certified in physics, but that does not make sense to me.
It makes like 0 sense, but we'll go with it.
On the right hand, little finger, we got black light Nightbringer.
Oh, the UV light.
Yeah.
So he's got the CSI finger.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really bad weapon to use against Iron Man, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, God, what's happened to your suit?
I was thinking of his, like, bedroom or something, not his suit.
He's just...
What did you do last night?
Do you think he has, like, a condom removal thing in that thing?
What?
A condom removal, like, mechanism in that suit.
A condom removal mechanism?
Yeah.
Why? Wouldn't it just be a condom?
Yeah, but, like, how's he gonna get rid of it afterwards?
Well, it's just a series of pipes, like the same way he pees in it.
I guess. But you want to get, like, piss and, like, all of his other stuff in that same pipe, right?
Why not? It's a suit. I don't want piss in my suit anyway.
Well, we're assuming that he fucks the suit on as well.
I mean, like, he's got the technology. He's got, like, nanotech, right? It can come out of his skin. It can be, like, ultra thin. He could, like, nanotech extremis a rib for her pleasure, you know?
Sir, this is not what my program is meant to be doing. Please stop making me do this. Okay.
Ring finger, right hand. Disintegration beam.
I was waiting for that
/ spectral. The ring emits a beam of energy that destroys all bonds between the atoms and molecules of the objects that it strikes.
Fuck me.
Oh, it needs 20 minutes to recharge.
Oh, like the hyper beam.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a final smash, I guess.
Yeah.
And then there's the spin ring, aka the vortex beam, which makes a vortex, and he can also use it to levitate. And there's the influence / impact beam, which fast neutrons with great concussive force. So I'm guessing like it's like a Cyclops shit.
Okay.
Before
I was
Apocalypse.
a bit confused with this heat ray.
Well, yeah, because for some reason in I think Apocalypse they like go like, oh yeah, Cyclops he sets a tree on fire, you know, with his eyes, and it's like, oh, he had a heat ray because isn't it a concussive force, Bryan Singer? Anyway. Oh, you can make intense vibrations with it. And magnetic waves.
Bake me intense vibrations with it.
The ring may be capable of emitting other forms of energy as well, and has been used to send Iron Man slamming through a mountain.
Wow.
And then finally there's the Remaker, aka the Matter Rearranger, which can rearrange atoms and molecules, speed or slow down their movement. It's been used to condense water vapor, to make liquid water, solidify gases, create lethal poison gas from the air, turn a bunch of men to stone, turn a man into a beetle. That's a step up.
Why does it know how to do that?
It will turn a mountain into a rock monster to make a stone hand large enough to engulf Iron Man's body.
I love how every time Iron Man's just taking shit from this one dude.
It can't transmute elements or rearrange the atoms and molecules of Iron Man's magnetic beam reinforced armor.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's his rings in this. And then in this one, he's just got like 10 smashy.
They did the smashy thing.
Yeah.
Because
it's a lot easier.
It would take so long to explain and no one would care.
Yeah, also it's just like OP as fuck.
Yeah, like, I don't know how the Mandarin never loses.
Like, they make it good in this as well, because it's like the idea that he can take them off, you know? Mm-hmm. And then it's a thing of like the more he's wearing them, it's not like the One Ring or anything where he's getting corrupted, but it's just like psychologically, if you're constantly wearing something that's meant to be fighting, you know, and defensive and violent, he's in fight mode, and then he takes it off, and then he's vulnerable.
Like family mode.
Yeah, time to, I don't know, go watch Shang-Chi at the cinema with a big bag of popcorn.
Yeah, got a big old box of popcorn
and a greasy chicken leg.
I guess if you want, if they'll let you into the cinema with your big piece of chicken leg.
No, I think that's a Ron Burgundy line.
Is it?
Yeah.
From the first one?
Or second one. I don't know.
I feel like I remember it in the first one.
I think it might be in blooper, to be honest.
Well, there you go.
These bloopers are funnier than the movie. Anyway, that was my transition to be like, this is the comic thing, and then this is not what we're getting in the movie. And unless you have anything further to say,
I think we should probably move on.
Spoiler.
Spoiler City, guys.
So, giant dragons.
All over the fucking shop.
I tell you what, that the good dragon, pretty cool. I didn't need to have multiple characters ride it around.
It feels almost disrespectful.
The whole time Joe's like, get off.
Oh, fucking god, you motherfucker.
This is really weird.
Like, imagine if any
I'm not a
culture where,
horse.
like, fucking, like, in, like, Hindu culture, if Ganesh was just, like, a big, like, god, and you're like, I'm gonna jump on his back. You're like, get off me, asshole. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was
yeah.
it was kind of cool. I didn't like when a human. Obviously, they have to do that, but like, the dragon fighting the demon dude was a cool fight, but I didn't need to have Shang-Chi like doing flips on top of it or whatever. I feel like they should have kept it where he was facing off against his father, and maybe the dragon shit is happening like at the same time behind them or something, because it's like, you don't, as soon as you put him on that level, then when you go back to him doing martial arts, it's kind of like,
well, you were riding a dragon like 20 seconds ago. And I also don't like the placement of it, because, well, for one thing, the dragons take fucking forever to show up. To the point where I was like, I don't think there's going to be dragons in this movie. That's going to kind of be kind of cool. And then two dragons come out of fucking nowhere. And the way they do it is, like, after the final, like, fight with Tony Leung and Simu Liu, they kind of, like, separate, Tony Leung dies, and they go straight from that into the next fight scene, and you're just like, this is a really, like, emotional and, like, exhausting fight.
They should have, like...
And it's like, this was really important, guys.
That should have been the climax, is this death, and then maybe after the death, I don't know, the dragon subdues the other dragon or whatever, and it's like...
It doesn't need, like, Shang-Chi to go over and, like, fight the other dragon as well, because it just, like, removes, like, the effect of this first fight, and it's just far too long. And
I also think, as much as I love Michelle Yeoh, is that how you say her name?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, as much as I love her, and I love, like, a lot of the stuff they do in, what's it called, Talao or Talo or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, Talo. As much as I like that stuff, they introduce it so late in the movie. They're like, oh, here's our society, but like, we have to now do like a training montage and get ready for a big fight. And then it felt very much like, oh, you're like bending over backwards to do a similar sort of thing that you've done in the other films of like, well, let's have a battle scene, you know? Yeah. And then also they're introducing like all this like fantastical stuff all at once. And I kind of appreciate like the balls to just be like, here's some magic shit, you know, here's some supernatural stuff that not, let's explain this with science, or let's backtrack or do a version of this that isn't actually magical.
But I still think
it's just a bit too much at once.
There's too much and there's not enough time in the movie to make it work.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe if they just like didn't go there, but like they stayed in that forest like entrance way to it, and then you can do that in a sequel, or if they went there but like there was the idea that there's other civilizations to find around here, but like we haven't found them yet because we're just having this showdown in this one area or something. Like it just feels abrupt, and it also like feels abrupt to like drive a BMW into it, you know. And
that's the other thing I have a problem with this movie. Like,
is that it's a BMW advert?
Yeah.
I mean, that is my Letterboxd review. Is the best BMW commercial I've ever seen.
Because, like, it's probably not a very high bar to clear. Mm-hmm. But the other thing that I kind of, like, beyond all the stuff of, like, introducing this cool magic stuff, I do think that, like, the way it was put together, there's lots of really cool characters, and, like, the character designs are really cool, but at the same time, like, I'm happy with it being there in theory, but, like, there's no time to actually, like, sit this at all. Yeah. You know, there's none of this is explained. The way the world is presented in that way is kind of like, this isn't even the real shit. This is just like the gateway to the real shit. And it's like, why fucking do it at all?
Yeah, and I do think that like they do manage to keep the through line of the father as a bad guy, but also his reasoning being to like reclaim what he thinks is his wife's soul or whatever. I think the grieving aspect is a really like interesting sort of motivation for a villain, and also for the fact of like the way that all of these people acted in response to the death being made sense for them but fucked up other people. Like Shang-Chi's leaving, well, for one thing, like seeing his mother killed, he's just a little kid, but then his dad's like, I feel like at one point like our really like emotional point is like you watched her die or whatever, and it's kind of like there is that level of guilt there. And the fact that it only happened because he stopped wearing the rings, so it's kind of like, well, I need to be on the defensive. We need to be strong. I tried to like let my guard down and be the family guy,
and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Now you're going to pay for that shit.
Yeah,
and like I guess the underlying guilt of like knowing that he could have saved her and all this shit.
Yeah, and so there's
and
that.
his like past coming back to haunt him. There's some really cool like human stuff.
Yeah, and then the fact that like you're like, why would the sister hate him? You know, because they both went through a terrible thing. But then you think about it, it's like, no, he fucking like left her.
He just abandoned his little sister.
And I also think it's an interesting note to have her like kind of stay on the underground sort of thing, in like what you might call criminal, but like it coming from a place of her like, well, I'm going to figure this shit out for myself because no one, like my dad's not going to give me shit because I'm a woman.
And the only person I cared about other than my mother just left me to just rot here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing that I really liked about the movie was like when they go to the whole like the cage fighting shit, that whole thing, and then the follow-up fight in there. That was really cool world building that I'm like, yeah, of course the MCU would have this kind of stuff. Of course, like Wong is fighting Abomination, I guess. Although I'm now like, wait, why are like Wong and Abomination friends?
Why is Wong just doing this?
I don't know. I feel like they wanted
they wanted him to be a badass.
They wanted him to be a badass because they like accidentally made him a meme in Infinity War.
But I feel like the alternative that they've presented is far worse. He's not a bitch. He's just kind of a bit of a lout. The reason he fucks off in Infinity War.
But that's the thing, though. But then he comes back in Endgame, and then it's like, well, it was technically him who like brought everyone.
Because everyone else was dead. There was no one left to do it.
Still, it's like they followed up the meme of him like fucking like piecing out in Infinity War to like giving him so much shit that now I'm like, no, you ruined my favorite meme.
Yeah, which
was that Wong doesn't. It's not even that he's like a coward. It's just like the idea of him being selfish enough that he's like, why would I fucking die for this cause? I'm going.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight that space wizard. Hell no.
Yeah, and it's just, and I think that lends better to is it Benedict Wong?
Benedict Wong.
Yeah, it's better for his performance because I think he plays that kind of thing really funny.
Yeah.
But I think that they kind
of. But now he's like a secret badass who's like participate. He's in a fight club.
Yeah, but
it's like why?
Of all the two people to pair, Abomination or Wong is not one I would have thought of. Yeah. But I kind of like it.
It's interesting enough as a fight. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to see more of that stuff come back. A little tease of that here and there, and just his like. I'm trying to think of any villain that isn't dead.
I guess the Vulture.
The Vulture versus what's his name? Walton Goggins from Ant-Man and Wasp.
I feel like I'd actually watch that probably.
You said you want to say something about the army, like the henchmen or something.
Well, first of all, I don't understand their motivations at all.
What? They're just like they got boss, the henchmen, right? But like, it's like a Bond thing.
I kind of feel like there's one thing to be like, yeah, these are my henchmen, but also like at some point the only reason they're there is that like, the boss is grieving his wife really bad. He wants us to go and fight this ancient Chinese civilization. You know, get the guns, guys.
Well, I think it's a cult, right? If you spend like that long, this guy's literally immortal though. Like that's got a lot of sway. This guy is like ultra powerful and has his fingers in all the pies around the world.
But they don't give the impression that it's a cult. They seem like mercenaries.
I think that they're his personal mercenaries, you know? I think they have been recruited and they live on his...
Like the apostles of Jesus, that they all have guns, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like evil Jesus.
Evil Jesus. I'll give you that, but I also think that...
That is that you'll give me.
Yeah. And but the only thing I don't like about the finale is that the movie goes out of its way to explain how hard it is to access this mystical world. Ben Kingsley's character's back. Yeah. Right, he's got this weird faceless, cute, plushy thing, which I hate.
Oh, really? I mean,
I hate that thing.
No, I
want to set it on fire.
I mean, I had the same thing with any of this stuff, like in, the fucking porks or whatever in Star Wars, where it's like, I get that you're just trying to sell a toy here, but I did like it still. It was cute.
I prefer
it was weird as fuck.
I prefer the porks because they're clearly just super irritating, and Chewbacca hates them.
I like this little dude. What's his name?
I don't get a shit about his name. He's like a faceless pillow with wings.
Oh, it's a Hundam called Morris. It's actually based on a Chinese myth, mythical creature or something.
Okay,
I
maybe,
like
but,
that.
like-
I like the creatures in Talau as well, like the weird.
I like all
lion
the creatures
thing.
except that particular species because they looked way different to everything else that was there.
Yeah, I think it's in general that stuff's cool. I liked Ben Kingsley in this. I got a bit tired because I feel like they knew they were onto some comedy, so they like gave him fucking a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what?
I don't need half of this.
Yeah, I think it would have been fun to spend a couple of minutes with him.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't. At one point, I thought they were going to give him like a heroic death and be like, "Oh no, the stakes! We killed the comedy relief character," and then they just didn't. And I was like, "Good,"
Thank
because
God.
that's not that I want to see him again, but I was just like, that would be
This
dumb.
movie doesn't need that right now.
Yeah,
But like the thing I was gonna say is that like they go through so much to say it's pretty much impenetrable, this place, and the Shang-Chi and Morris and whatever the Mandarin's real name is in this, and Awkwafina's character, they all come into this mystical area. They barely just survive.
Yeah.
And then like 20 minutes later, Tony Long's there with like 40 cars.
Well, no. He had the map though. Was the thing.
But like
He had the mystical map that shows you exact timing of when to be there, because they had to go by the gobbledygook who was saying turn left, turn right to avoid the trees.
Yeah.
So they didn't have the map. Is the thing.
They didn't have the map. That's true. I'll give them that. But I still think it's like
I
I
think
didn't
it's
like
just the moment of like
Yeah.
a bunch of people driving some cars into like this mystical land
Yeah.
just feels kind of.
yo, what's up? We're here with our guns. And it's just I get why they did it, and the way you've explained it, it makes sense. But I just don't feel like I don't think there was much point.
Not to like just like redo the movie in our heads, but let's do that anyway. Just like have them like the jungle thing they have to get through to get to the gate is really ruthless, and like on the way there, Tony Long loses a lot of his guys, but
Yeah.
has a few left, and they come through and they're a bit battle hardened at this point, but they've got like a lot of weaponry, and then the fight can continue. But maybe
Yeah.
it's not even. Maybe we don't even have like a battle between
Fucking
like
anything.
50 people.
You know,
But again, we're sounding like we're like more mad at this movie than we are. It's just like it
it's just
definitely
frustration
loses
coming
it.
from where it's come from. You know, up until like maybe the point that Ben Kingsley shows up again, I'm like, this is actually really good. I'm really enjoying myself here.
Yeah, it's proper that moment when it like it kind of gives up on being its own thing, and then you hit this like wall where you then go, from this point on, we are MCU movie
Yeah.
17 or whatever.
Hi, I'm Ben Kingsley, and here's the script for the rest of this movie.
Yeah.
You know? And as much as I appreciate how much effort Ben Kingsley puts into this character, like, there's so many things that you're like, I don't care. I don't know why, for example, you made him, like, super Scouse. You know? And he's not, like, a Scouse accent, but he's, like, clearly, like...
Isn't he meant to be from Croydon?
He's meant to be from Liverpool.
Oh, he's from Liverpool, but no, it's because
Deep into Liverpool. The Liverpool accent he's doing is, like, a kind of subtle
no,
one.
I'm thinking because in Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
Guy Pearce says something like, I don't know, he's from somewhere I've never heard of, like Croydon or something.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, there's a joke for
Nobody.
for people from, like, London, and
Yeah.
that's it.
They go
But-
it's like a whole, like,
But he's
Liverpoolian
just
backstory.
he was just super wrong. He got the wrong side of the country.
Yeah. Because they sound so similar. And I appreciate how much, like, effort he went into to, like, give this character life. But I'm also like, you could have spent, like...
It was funny. He just didn't need that much. He
had
needed
this
that
far too
one
much detail.
that one scene in the cell. He didn't need to fucking come in the car and then drive to the place and then be in the final battle. It's kind of like Martin Freeman in Black Panther, where it's like
Another Black Panther parallel.
yeah, when Martin Freeman comes to Wakanda, great, you get the "Don't Scare Me" colonizer, awesome. But that guy should just be shat on while he's like, recovering from being shot. And then also it's like, I get why to bring him there, because it's like, oh, it's the first time we're bringing someone in, but he wanted to save his life, so it's a bit of an ethical thing. But then maybe have him go like, you know what, Shuri? Here's some CIA intel we have on Killmonger. Not like, I'm going to be in this action scene now.
Or even like a little like story arc where like they ask him like, how'd you get to Wakanda? And he's like, I don't know.
Or
and then
like
everyone goes like, that guy's cool.
It just, it felt a bit flimsy, but like, and this
I also didn't like how they kind of resolved the thing with Tony Leung's wife.
In what way?
Like, I like the idea of like the ghost of the wife driving him to this dark place, but by like they let him off the hook here, because they're not like, oh yeah, he's just driven by grief. There's this evil thing that's making him think that his wife is still alive, and the story we've had before that was way more interesting to me.
Well, but why would he want to go there if he didn't think
Because
that
they
she was
think he
literally
thinks
there?
that like she's there, and you think it's just a grief thingy. But the real reason that he thinks his wife is there is because his wife has been talking to him, but it's actually the secret of this evil
Yeah,
demon
but they still
that
like
wants to like open up this world. And it comes out of nowhere, and I don't think it particularly like makes a character any better.
right. But then like what would his reasoning be going to go there just to free her?
Yeah,
But then what would he be freeing?
that's the point. The point is like he's so like stricken by
But
grief
like
and
what would be
overcome.
the stake if there's no monster?
Well, the stake is that like they're either going to kill his ass or he's going to fuck some shit up and trying to find something that isn't there.
Right, and then but then when you just like be like, oh, it's not here.
No, he'd be like, "You're lying," and he does what he does. But like, I didn't need
Oh,
it to be.
you want it to be the threat that he's gonna hurt the villagers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't
that
need it to be
makes-
like a demon that's gonna like break out and take over the world because it adds nothing.
I was also a bit disappointed by the demon dude.
Yeah,
I
like
thought
that whole
they built it
subsection.
out quite a lot to the point that I was like, is this gonna be some like cool design or some crazy thing from the comic that I'd forgotten? And it was like a demon.
And
like
like, I didn't need any
Bayonetta
of
boss
this.
or something.
And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, the third act is far too long.
What do you think of the post credit scene? Or the mid credit, I guess.
I guess it's one of those things where I'm kind of, this is kind of what I want from the mid-credit scene, you know?
Well, one going like, yeah, we're doing some Avengers shit.
Yeah, I don't need like an outright like this is the next character that's going to be in here, or here's like a really cool Easter egg. Here's what might happen in the next movies. Let's not like go super specific into it, but like here's how like Shang-Chi's going to fit into this puzzle. And I think that's all it has to be. That's what it started at. Probably a good place to go with these sorts of things now.
I think it's fine, but only because in general the post credit scenes have been kind of like
Been increasingly
lackluster,
desperate.
or just like nothing is happening in them, and they're kind of just going through the motions a bit. And I felt like a little bit with this one, where it was kind of like, oh, and here's a couple of Avengers people, and we're like, oh, there's stuff happening over here. Might be in some movie together at some point.
But it feels vaguely essential, where most of them for a while haven't felt essential.
But I liked the final one where Xiling becomes the new leader of the Ten Rings.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of on her throne.
Jigarbos is the end of this movie.
Yeah, but like I thought it worked.
I thought it worked.
Yeah,
And,
and it made sense for her to like sort of reclaim that.
Yeah.
It felt like a victory, in a way, even though you're like she might actually be some sort of a anti-villain in the future. Who knows? Like,
I bet like Sharon Carter in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
a lot better than that, I would say.
Oh,
but
fuck me sideways. Yeah.
anyway,
Do you have any closing thoughts on this? Because we probably should move on to the other 5 things we have to talk about.
okay. Well, what do you want to jump onto first?
I think you might as well tell me a bit about Black Widow, because I was one of those things where I like ScarJo in these movies. I like Black Widow enough, but I wasn't interested enough to be like, well, I would have been like maybe 5 years ago when this movie should have happened.
I tell you what, the trailer
Yeah.
for Black Widow, it's fucking garbage.
It's not a very good trailer, I'll give you that.
The thing that put me off about it is I was watching the trailer, I was like, this is fine, and then there's a bit at the end of the trailer where they something's exploding in the sky, she's skydiving and she's like dodging rubble and shooting people, and it's like super over the top CG, and I was like, oh, I was kind of hoping for like some sort of spy shit. You know, you get a spy movie with Black Widow, the spy, not another like explosive.
Oh look, she's strangling more people with her thighs, and I'm like,
Well, I'd want more of the thigh strangling than the exploding building I'm jumping away from, you know? Yeah. But anyway, like, the weird thing is that whole thing that they show is, like, fucking right at the end of the movie, and it's the only thing of that level of destruction, really. And I will say that I had a similar thing with Black Widow as I had with Shang-Chi. I kind of came in, like, not knowing what to expect, and actually had a really good time. And then by the end, I kind of lost a bit of that passion, and then I don't really think about it that much anymore. But if I really think back, and I think back to some early scenes in it and stuff, and I'm like, there's a lot to like in there. And I would say it is worth watching. And I think it's on Disney Plus for free now.
yeah, you don't have to pay like 30 quid to watch it, which, again,
Yeah.
absurd. I don't know what cinematic universe that you'd be like.
I mean, I guess it makes sense in the sense that, like...
You wouldn't go to the cinema for 30 quid.
I mean, if you think about it, 2 tickets...
Okay, two tickets.
Two tickets in some cinemas can be that, you know?
But that's 2 tickets in some cinemas, not like a streaming once sort of thing.
Yeah, I think they gotta make it worth their while, I guess.
I just think like Yeah, I don't
But
know.
I don't
That's
necessarily
okay
think it's a good
discussion.
idea, but I understand the reasoning, I guess.
I think it's faulty reasoning, but I can see where you're coming
But
from.
like, if you know what I mean, like, if I couldn't see it in the cinema, I would have paid 30 quid to see the Suicide Squad. It's just different when
You would have?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah, because I really like James Gunn.
I like James Gunn, but not 30 quid much.
I mean, I would if I was watching it with a few people, that we could split that
yeah.
money, and then also like knowing that it's never coming to the cinema. You know, if it was like, oh, watch it now or go to the cinema, like, I'll go to the cinema, or I won't go. You know, like.
I mean, but that's like a lot of reaches just then to make.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm not even gonna do that. I wouldn't do that for like the new Spider-Man movie,
Oh,
right?
yeah, there.
Because like, it's a Suicide Squid. Suicide Squid.
Suicide Squid. Yeah.
No, I really.
There is a squid in that movie.
It
though.
looks good. It looked good, and I like James Gunn, and I think this is the sandbox he should be playing in. So I'm like, yeah here's my money.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Anyway, Black Widow is good. Let me,
I've heard that
myself.
Florence Pugh was pretty good in it, but how is Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson is good. I still think her best, for me, the best she ever got was Winter Soldier. I think that's the best we got of her character.
I kind of like her in Endgame as well. I think, especially in the first half of Endgame before it kicks off, I think what they do with character is really interesting.
Actually, yeah, that's true. But then I think the thing what they do with her later in that movie is like such a hard negative thing that it makes me want to call you crazy for saying she's good in that movie.
Yeah.
But she is good in that movie.
What happens to her isn't her fault.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not on ScarJo.
Yeah, it's not Scarlett.
A lot of other stuff is.
Yeah.
But not this.
There's a whole podcast in itself about all the shit that's on ScarJo.
But anyway, no, this movie, they do something interesting with her backstory where they add stuff in which I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
There's this whole sort of thing. I mean, I'm not going to go into like spoilers, but I'll like hint at some stuff that's not, you know, that might take some surprises. So maybe skip ahead if you don't want to hit anything. But like David Harbour, Rachel Weisz, and Florence Pugh and ScarJo were like part of a fake American family when they were kids.
That makes sense.
As like a, you know,
like a plant or like a
plant, like that show the Americans.
Yeah.
And then at some point they got pulled out, and then all this shit happened. They got split up, and then at that point ScarJo's like super young.
And she's like, "This is my family, and they weren't real."
Yeah, but then they get completely disbanded, and then it's like years later she re-meets Florence Pugh, who is like in this Black Widow sort of program thing again, and it's like, I guess after, you know, she betrays Black Panther in Civil War, you know, when she shoots him to let the other guys go away, she runs away, and then that's when this movie happens. Okay. So it's her kind of on the run, and then like while she's there, she like gets caught up in this sort of spy thing with Florence Pugh, and then in order to like uncover what's going on, ends up having to re-find David Harbour and re-find Rachel Weisz. And do you know who plays the villain in this? Because I did not fucking know who played the villain in this until he arrived on screen, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's gonna be one of those things that I've already read in passing and forgotten about.
It's fucking Ray Winston.
Oh shit, yeah.
Playing an American, and I will say, he's actually like, I forget sometimes that Ray Winston is a good actor. Everyone go out and watch Sexy Beast. That dude is incredible in that movie. Like, as a dramatic actor.
Is he the Sexy Beast?
Huh?
Is he the titular Sexy Beast?
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, that.
Do not go see him in Cats, by the way.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Ray Winston's such like a.
He's got such a punchline.
Yeah, he's a caricature of a Cockney or whatever.
He's telling people to like go bet on football matches.
Yeah, he's fucking.
Go see Cristiano Ronaldo play Stoke City and bet on it.
And you're like, this is the place that he has in this world now. But like, he's in this, and he's like a creepy ass motherfucker. Yeah. And he's American, and he's like kind of like low key. And he's playing it like really sinister and like with this strong like genuine ideology of misogyny that kind of like works well in the movie to fight back against, although not in a. I will say that I was surprised that they didn't do the blockbuster like girl power thing in a cliche annoying way.
I feel like
sometimes
they couldn't get away with it again.
Yeah, because sometimes they do that in a way where I'm like, I appreciate the message you're going for here, but you're going for it in the stupidest way.
This is ham-fisted.
Yeah, but they did it really well in this, where they made it clear that the themes of it was like violence and abuse and control over women was like the bad thing that we're fighting against.
And thematically, I guess it works in that way.
Yeah, and all the characters in it are great. And I knew this going in, but I was still pleasantly surprised by Florence Pugh, who is the best thing in everything she's in. I love her so much. And she is excellent in here. Her accent, you don't necessarily expect good accents in these movies. Her accent is so good as far as I'm aware of what a Russian accent should be.
Considering how many British actors in here just doing nothing accents. Like fucking Benedict Cumberbatch and his whatever that is in Doctor Strange. Or like Tom Holland, who starts trying to do an accent in like Civil War and just like gives up halfway through Homecoming.
Well, you picked like the two best ones as well.
Well,
you can talk about like fucking Aaron Taylor-Johnson or anyone else.
I guess no, Andy Serkis's. I like Andy Serkis's one.
Andy Serkis, what's his name? Hugh, is his name Hugh? Hugh?
Who are you thinking of?
Evil Red Man? Skull Man? Red Skull.
Oh, Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. So,
Hugh Weaving.
yeah, I was like, I know that the Hugh sound is a part of this. Yeah. So like, Hugo Weaving, Toby Jones, Andy Serkis, I think they know that they're doing like a ridiculous arch villain, so yeah. it works. It's when they kind of
have to play actual characters.
Yeah. But anyway, Florence Pugh is great in this. She's so fucking funny, but she's also badass in it. And I think she's one of those actors which I think work really well in the MCU, because some things, you know, that she's gonna elevate a future MCU movie that is fine. You know, yeah. Like in the same way that like Robert Downey Jr. did, and the same way that kind of Chris Evans did, a lot of Chris Hemsworth, like a lot of these actors who are the strongest in their roles,
elevate the material that they are.
Yeah, because the material a lot of time is fine, but like you just really enjoy them. And she is sort of fantastic making fun of Natasha. Like there's a bit where she's like making fun of her, the way she lands doing poses, trying to like get her leg out to like do this pose, and she's like, this just hurts, why would you do this? And it's really funny, and it's like a kind of joke which like could go either way, but she makes it land. And
how's David Harbour? Because I feel like David Harbour, ever since like he made any kind of fame, has been like, I'm not gonna work out anymore for any of these movies. I need a role where I can just have a belly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any more kind of health shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love it because,
I kind of aspire to be that if I'm an actor.
Well, no, I mean, man, he's doing, like, a lot of work for us, like, people with the pandemic weight on us, you know? Because he's going out there and people still want to fuck him.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a whole contingent of, like, harbour stands out there. Harbour heads.
Harbour heads,
you might say.
Is that what they're calling them?
Yeah.
The ships in the harbour. Anyway, I like him in most things. I think sometimes he can stand to give more of a shit.
He's one of those actors who hasn't been necessarily very lucky in the things he's in, but he's great in them.
I feel like he needs like that breakout role that he hasn't quite got yet.
Well, I think Stranger Things was that. But like I think he hasn't capitalized that. In the same way that like it's not the same sort of thing at all, but like Bryan Cranston is like
he had like what's it called, Hal from Malcolm Middle, right?
No, but I mean like
in terms of a movie set.
What did he do after Breaking Bad, is what I mean.
He was in that really bad movie with James Franco, or that really bad movie where I think he's with Kevin Hart.
He's in some drama ones as well, but they're like all like pretty average ones. He just hasn't found the right thing, and it's like the best thing he's done is probably Isle of Dogs, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, yeah, well, maybe you should work with someone like Wes Anderson, or you should work with a
pick a project rather than like I guess like it's again, like to jump on another like parallel. It's like what most of the Game of Thrones actors have failed to do, in that they've been on this like generational TV show and they've gone into movies and they've all picked garbage, barring maybe Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, but I mean, you got like two Maisie Williams and
Sophie
Turner both got super unlucky, where like
Sophie X-Men properties.
Yeah, so exactly. Sophie Turner going to Jean Grey.
Yeah,
that's good casting. She's the right age. She's coming into this series.
Tragically,
great idea.
You picked late stage X-Men.
Yeah, late stage like dementia X-Men.
Yeah,
like doesn't know where it is anymore.
Yeah. And similar to Maisie Williams, you picked like all the projects you could have picked.
I haven't even seen New Mutants yet.
I don't think anyone's seen New Mutants yet.
No, people saw New Mutants. eventually.
Dozens of them.
There are dozens of us. But like, no, she's. I don't think that was a bad choice for her, and she's in a small role in it, so it's like it doesn't mean she can't later be, in a big thing. The problem with New Mutants, regardless of the quality of the movie, is that it got like delayed.
It was in development hell,
for so long, and then Disney like sort of pushed it off during the acquiring of Fox, and there was so much stuff going on with that it's kind of like that was just unlucky that was the next step they did. Yeah, a series of Game of Thrones actors had similar things happen.
I feel I'm kind of stunned that like Aidan Gillen didn't go on to do more things.
Aidan Gillen's been in shit though, and I think Aidan Gillen's always gonna like turn up in like.
I'm surprised they haven't got him like an MCU movie actually.
He's in it in the same way that like fucking what's his name Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah. He's always going to turn up in these things. It's like, yeah, you make him a bad guy or a side character or something.
And that's something.
Anyway, Aidan Gillen turns up later in The Wire, and that's my favorite Aidan Gillen performance. He's fucking great in it. Yeah. And he's like, he's very different,
I think he's a really good actor. I'm kind of like disappointed with him. Jason Momoa, I think he's at his level, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I do like Jason Momoa, but it's kind of this thing of like,
yeah, he should be like a.
He turns up and he does like angry, scary, badass like Khal Drogo, silent type, and then like he could be a good like Bane or something like a sinister dude who might have brains but he doesn't say much, or he can be goofball like what was his line in Justice League that he kept saying?
Which one? Like there's one where he's just like in the air going yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It was yeah. My man.
Where does he like jump off like a fucking building, like drinking whiskey, and so you're like, yeah, this is what Jason Momoa should be doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like
we're all riding around like Piccadilly in a fucking top hat. What was the fuck he was doing the other day?
And he's fucking Piccadilly Circus, and he's riding this like old-timey car. I think he's stuck in traffic. And he's just like in this car going like, yes, I'm Jason Momoa. Fucking London traffic, I suppose. It might have been for a movie role, but I'm hoping that it wasn't. He was just like, I want to do this weird shit.
Well, he does dress like that in real life, so.
And I think like he's probably at his level.
Why are we talking about Jason Momoa?
Well, I don't know.
This is not even relevant.
Like Game of Thrones, we're talking about like David Harbour breakout roles, Game of Thrones.
Have you got any more questions about Black Widow?
I'm guessing if we're going off our trend of MCU stuff, it's going to have a really cool opening, and it's going to get very like third acty in the third act.
The third act I think is one of the better ones because it's kind of like a espionage, like they're breaking into a place at the end, and there's a lot of like, and this was my plan, and this was my plan, and it's fun in that way. And then there's a big explosive end to that scene, but it's just the end to that scene, and it does become a bit like, wow, she can take a lot of shit, like kind of like Winter Soldier when you realize Cap can keep going after being shot, but like it's with Black Widow, so it does get a little bit,
it kind of like bends like the fabric of reality.
And I will say, just politically, I think they missed the chance to make, this sounds weird. Right, you got like a Russian spy who's defected to supposedly international, but basically American spy force. He lived there, become part of the Avengers, which is this American team, and then stayed with that, and then left behind all this life in Russia, where her sister was out there still doing stuff. There's a lot of Florence Pugh making fun of the Avengers and like being very dismissive of them, which I really enjoyed.
Because you think about it, like in that world, you wouldn't be taking them seriously at all.
But it does kind of, there is, and this isn't a spoiler because it doesn't actually really happen in the movie, but there's a sort of thing at the end of like, well, let's call the American government to sort of clean this up a bit. It's a bit weird in that way, and then also it does have to sort of end with that kind of feeling of an epilogue that's kind of like, and then remember that she died. And then it's kind of a bummer in that way because you can't, and it's sad in a way because like you kind of like it's this thing of like, oh, remember this, like this is a tribute to this character who died, so it's kind of like good in that way. But then on the other hand, I'm like, you know what, like it's kind of a bummer that she had to die in that way, and it's also like a bummer that we don't get to, like, even if she were to not die but like retire, I like the idea of that, like some of these characters might get like a happy ending. Like what if like because I think her struggle is like knowing whether she was like a good person or that she belonged in a place like the Avengers, that she could be a hero rather than just a killer. And that was her whole thing. And then if there was some way of her moving past that in the same way that I think it would have been cool if Iron Man could have moved past it and realized that he doesn't need to control everything and he can retire and know that. If then people are like, yeah, but the world's ending, where's Iron Man? It's like, I don't care, like, because his story's over.
We'll have that a bit in like Endgame where he's like, I'm just having a family now.
Yeah, yeah.
And they could have probably, I guess in the way the movie works, it makes sense that he's going to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Also,
he should have died when Thanos like punched him out
in
Infinity War. He just got concussion.
He just forgot who he was.
Yeah.
Is there a thing at the end of the movie where it's like Animal House? It just takes you through all the characters and how they died. And it's like Black Widow just like thrown off an intergalactic mountain.
Well, I would say David Harbour. I don't know how much you got this from whatever you saw before, but he's actually very good in this, and I feel like I heard so many people like going on about David Harbour in Stranger Things, which I lost interest in, that I forgot that I like David Harbour.
I like him a lot.
And he's really good in this as a character who is like, he's not just like, they're doing a bit of the joke of like,
look how fat this dude is.
Yeah, and the washed up hero, and there's a lot of him like, does Captain America ever talk about me sort of thing, and it's like, no one knows who you are sort of thing, and like he's a failed version of Captain America, and that's a lot of fun. But also the thing that I like about it is that when they bring the family back together, they have this dynamic that feels like an actual dysfunctional family. They all have these different motives and different things that are blocking them off, and it's clear what each of them want, but then they say things and you're like, why did you say that? And like David Harbour's really good at playing like the sort of
like gruff guy who's like way more vulnerable than he's letting on.
Well, no, he's more like he's constantly talking about how proud he is of his girls and all this stuff, but then they're like, you know, you abandoned us, you were shitty in this way and this way and this way, and you were so relieved when you didn't have to be a family anymore. You know, you didn't even like, you were just like the worst dad ever, basically. And him not doing the thing where he like hears someone say that and be like, yeah, you're right, and then changing. It's just like he's a real person. It's going to take a long time for that message to get through, and he's going to keep saying stupid shit and having to have Florence Pugh and Natasha be like, shut the fuck up all the time to him because he's just saying stupid things. They even managed to make a joke about about the whole like the Black Widow spies are like made infertile.
Oh yeah,
they like even mention that doozy. And then she, because he's talking about the glory of like the program and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, remember when they do this to our bodies? And he's like, oh, sorry,
I was having fun.
And then like Florence Pugh's like going into horrible detail about it, and he's like, stop and it's like they kind of, there's a lot of like really heavy stuff going on, but they kind
of use it in a very like,
it's like a family that have
way.
All gone through all this different trauma, and it's like, I think it works really well. And again, the shame is that you're like, well, we're not going to see this again.
None of this really matters in the grand scheme of things.
But I do, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I do think it's worth a watch as well. Again, it's kind of like the Shang-Chi thing of like, well, it's not going to blow your mind. I will say that Taskmaster in it becomes interesting with certain revelations as it goes on. But it's like, it's an entirely different version of the character from the comics, which I guess almost makes it easier. Like, it's as different as like fucking Ben Kingsley, you know? Yeah. Like, it doesn't get that goofy, but like, Is
he also from Liverpool?
No. The reveal of the identity and the backstory and stuff like that for Taskmaster, I think is interesting. The design still looks like shit, though.
I don't know much about Taskmaster, but I did not like the design when I saw it.
No, it looks bad.
City. Well, yeah.
I guess the original design is kind of goofy, but I feel like you just got to go for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I guess from there we should move on to some of the TV, right?
We're going to Disney Plus, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, okay, so we already talked about WandaVision. You can check out our Patreon for that. We have mixed feelings, but we mostly liked it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a similar thing to Shang-Chi and to, I guess,
they didn't
Black
stick
Widow,
the ending.
Is they completely whiff the ending.
And then we go to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Have we already talked about that?
No.
Oh, God, okay.
No, you refused to do it. I was like, can we do a podcast on it? And you were like, I would have had to like force you to do it, so I just like stopped trying. So here you are, now fucking talk about it, bitch.
Still don't want to talk about it. My stance
Just have
is
some dead air.
slightly changed. But yeah, let's talk about Falcon and Soldier. Let's get it out of the way.
Well, we've been talking way too long, and we're like moving into the TV now, and I guess this is what happens when you don't talk about stuff for a while, is you have a lot. So this is going to be a two-parter, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess in like a logical way, we talk about the movies, and now we're going to talk about the TV, and this is a good place to cut it off. And yeah, it gives you some time, folks, to kind of go out there and watch all the things that we've been talking about, and or just like
go to our Patreon and hear us talk about other stuff.
Yeah, there's lots of things you can do in the meantime. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, we're going to be jumping into the TV stuff, but our review of WandaVision is up, and we'll be like kind of more skimming over that because like we don't want to like rehash the whole thing again.
Oh hell no. But yeah, no. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of That Anti Spider-Man Show. We hope you had a good time wherever you are in the world, in this terrible, doom-filled world. I hope you're doing okay. And we'll see you next time for our next part of our MCU roundup, where we're talking about TV shows. See you later, fuckers.
На склоні